Do a few things to the guitar, some preventive maintenance. No tricks, just kind of go over the guitar, clean it up, kind of make it a little bit better. You'll notice it's a Telecaster if you look. We're going to put some bushings back in it, glue them back. Going to check the intonation and let's do a couple things with the strings behind the nut. And remember, I'm a semi-professional. Don't try this at home. And then we'll put 2 through and hold these on. Okay. Then it's going to be a real quick thing. I'll show you twice. All right. So, what I'll normally do is pull it out and I'll put it in the nut. And I'll go to about right here if it's a safety post, but since these are the regular style, I'll just make sure the holes are at a 90-degree angle. It's not straight, like that. I need to do something like that. I crimp it real hard, and I'll hold that way. I can lift it up with no wraps on it. You see that? If that makes sense. I'll go over the top and under the bottom like that, and then just keep going this way. Now you see, you see there's an angle behind the nut. It's called the break angle. You don't want it to go straight up. You want it to go at a downward angle. Puts good pressure on the nut. On the wound strings, what I like to do is I'll take stuff's called Big Ben's nut sauce, and it's a nut lubricant. I only use it usually about every other time on a guitar. With Warren's Les Pauls, I can look at them and tell if they need it, and then all you do is just put just a little dab will do you. So it's going to come out just very lightly. See that? That's all it is. It's just a lubricant that doesn't gum up. You can get it from Tour Supply. It's worth it. I keep it around all the time. Of course, I don't use that much, and that's the stuff to use. Now, once you get further, you'll notice the E string's got about 2 turns on it. You're going to see I'm giving it even more. See how the length is? So I'm going to give it more because I want more wraps as I go further away from the nut. Even though these are, the D and the A string, the D and the G string are lower. But you'll see what happens here. So this will give me more of a break angle on the strings that have a string retainer on it. See how I'm getting more turns to it? And you're going to notice it'll have more of a break angle. It's going to help the A string with its tone and sustain. So now, when you look at it, you see the break angles you get. You'll notice the break angle of the A string behind the nut just is pulling down good now. This will help with timing, with tuning stability. What I will do, and I do this because it becomes a habit pattern, and I don't have to think about where I'm going to cut it. Most people cut it so short. I'll put my finger up against it and I'll make sure I've got just enough. It's usually about that much that I can make what Warren calls a curlicue. I'll pop that, I'll pull it up there and do the same thing here. And I just do that for like a point of reference for me so I don't make them too short. And then I'll take a pair of needle nose pliers. I'm kind of on the wrong side to do it, but I'll do it I'll do it this way. I find a spot in it and I just give it a twist just like that. It makes it a little harder to restring. Warren's used to it, and this way if he lays it, see, oh, that just hurt. So like that one is going to be a sharp end. That's not. You need to stretch the strings because you don't want to hand it to. You don't want to get on stage or play or do whatever and you hit that first chord and it detunes. So a lot of times you'll look up and you'll notice it's an E, but it's just tuned to wherever it's at. I have it tuned higher than it is, but I'll stretch it here like that. 3 fingers and a thumb. And I'll go there. So it's kind of like if you're looking, I don't know if you can see it from there, but it's kind of like this, and I'll do it at this point, and I'll do it at this point. A lot of times you'll hear me on stage, you'll hear, it's just a thing I do just to do whatever. And that was it's already detuned itself a half step. Do the A just like that, and just, and then I'll check the tuning, stretch it, I just try to stretch it in 2 spots. I had a guitar, one of my luthier instructors at Luther School, Bruce, he went to the 12th fret and said just stretch it there, and then I started noticing other people were stretching it in 2 spots and kind of do it like that and you're done. And